Hello, welcome to Viney B's Homemaker Experience. I'm Viney B and I am so glad that you decided to join me. Today I will be making a delicious dessert that not only do I love it, most people that I know, they love it as well. That dessert is banana pudding. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Enjoy. All right now, so when you're making banana pudding, the first thing you need to do is make the pudding that's going to go over the bananas and the vanilla wafers. So what we need is a half a cup of sugar. So we'll just weigh that in, a half a cup, which is 100 grams. All right, there we are. Half a cup of sugar, and then we need a third cup of flour. So a third cup of flour is about 40 grams. Let's get that in. All right, there we are. All right, and so now we just need a dash of salt. How much is a dash of salt? Well, it's about a 1/16 of a teaspoon. So I'm just going to put a dash of salt in. All right, so now we're just going to get this mixed together. I'm going to get my little whisk and do it. All right, get the sugar and salt and flour. Now, I didn't mention this, but you want to put this is the top of a double boiler, and so that's what you want to cook this, make this pudding in. You want to make it in the top of a double boiler, okay? So this, I'm sorry, in a double boiler. And so, but we're just going to mix the flour and sugar and salt in the top portion of the double boiler, okay? All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is get the eggs ready to go into the sugar and flour mixture. All right, so this recipe, it actually calls for 4 eggs, but I'm going to be using 3. And the eggs are to be separated. Okay, so you want your egg yolks separate from the egg whites. And so here they are. I've already done it. I didn't throw the egg whites away because we're going to need the egg whites for the meringue that goes on the top of the banana pudding. So here are the egg yolks, and try as much as you can not to get the egg whites into, in with the egg yolks. And you want to keep the egg yolks out of the egg whites as well, okay? So just be careful when you separate them. All right, so there's the egg yolks, and then we need 2 cups of milk. Whatever kind of milk you decide to use. Now, my mother always used evaporated milk, and I do love it, I must say. I do love it with the evaporated milk. But I'm going to be using almond milk, okay? So I'm just going to put a little bit in to start, get that mixed up. I should have used a different bowl, and then I would have been able to use the whisk, which works a little bit better, but that's okay. I've got it in this one now, so I'm just going to go with it. All right, we'll get the rest, get the milk in there. Okay, I just want to make sure that the milk is and the eggs are, blended together. Okay. All right, that's it. So now we're going to add the milk to the flour and sugar. and we're going to stir it. So I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. Let's go ahead. I think we can put the rest of it in. All right, see those streaks? I should, oh boy, I'm gonna try to get that out. All right, now see how I had to get those little, I guess it was some of the egg white that was in here, and I decided I needed to get it out before it actually started cooking, because if you get egg whites in your pudding, it is not good. So it's better to get it out before you start cooking it, okay? Because it'll cook just like, you know how you cook a poached egg and how that egg white gets solid. You don't want that in your pudding, okay? So, all right. It's ready now. All right, so let's get the hot water, and we'll start cooking this. All right, so now we've got the water boiling, and I'm gonna go ahead and set on top our egg and sugar and flour mixture and milk. Okay, I'm gonna turn the burner down just a little bit. Okay. And this part, you've got to be focused on stirring. You can't step away. You can't put it on the water and then walk away. You've got to stir this constantly, because if you don't, and see, there you go. All right, it's starting to thicken up. See, that's what the flour is for. The flour thickens it. All right, I'm going to switch spatulas. Better get my this one out. This is a little bit larger. Okay. And I can scrape the bottom. It's starting to thicken a little bit. Make sure you get your sides, because you don't want it to be lumpy. Okay. Okay, it's coming along very nicely. Okay. This is how you want it to look. Okay, if you see any lumps, you know something is not right. You did something, you know, either you didn't stir it or you got some egg whites in it. But try, like I said, just try, when you separate the eggs, try to make sure you only put the yolks in here, okay? And again, the recipe that I'm using actually says 4 egg yolks. I use 3 because, I think I mentioned this before, you know, I want to be careful with that cholesterol. And if I can make something without as many eggs, then I do. And this, I made this once before with the 3 egg yolks, and it turned out fantastic. No difference, in my mind at least. So, you know, of course, again, you can use the 4 egg yolks, or if you choose, you know. And when I put the the recipe in the description box, I will have it with the 4 egg yolks, okay? I think it's about done. I'm going to turn this down. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. That looks good. See that? All right, so now I'm going to take it off the heat. So I'm going to take it off of the heat, the entire pot, and I'm taking it off of the hot water because it will continue to cook if I keep it on the hot water, okay? All right, so I moved away from the stove so we could finish this up. Now I'm going to add in vanilla, and the recipe says a half a teaspoon. My vanilla is a little strong, so I'm not quite putting a half teaspoon in, just maybe a little bit over a quarter teaspoon, okay? So now we're going to spread a little bit of the pudding in the bottom of the pan. And this time we're not going to be putting any, we're not going to spray it with the non-stick cooking spray. Put a small amount of pudding in the bottom of the pan, and then you can make one layer of your vanilla wafer, okay? So you're going to cover the bottom with a layer of vanilla wafers, okay? All right. Then you follow that with a layer of sliced bananas. All right, so now we'll go ahead and slice the bananas, a layer of bananas. All right, so now we're going to put about a third of the pudding over the bananas. All right, then we'll go with another layer of the vanilla wafers, then another layer of bananas. Now, here's our second layer of the pudding. Now for another layer of the vanilla wafers. Okay. All right. Now for another layer of bananas. All right, now for the final layer of custard. All right, so now we're ready for the meringue. So let's set this aside and make the meringue. All right, here we go. We brought our egg whites back. Remember I told you when we separated the eggs, you know, we put the yolks into the custard, and I said make sure we're not throwing away the egg whites, we're going to save them, okay? And we're going to use them for the meringue. So here they are. And you want them at room temperature, okay? So I've had them sitting out while we made the custard. So we've got 3 egg whites, and then I have some cream of tartar, a quarter teaspoon of cream of tartar. And what the cream of tartar will do is you can make the meringue without the cream of tartar, but the cream of tartar helps to stabilize the meringue. You know, it helps make it hold its form better. So quarter teaspoon of a quarter teaspoon of cream of tartar and a quarter cup of sugar. So we're just going to start with beating the egg whites alone. All right, so now we're going to put the cream of tartar in. All right, and now we're going to gradually put the sugar in. Okay, and that's where you want it, where it will form a peak, okay? So you stop right there. You don't want to overbeat it. All right, so now let's go ahead and put the meringue on top of the pudding. All right, so we're going to just take it all the way to the edge. You don't want any, oh, you don't want to leave any openings, okay? Ooh, okay. Okay, I came up a little bit too high with the, okay. Let's see. Get that back in there. Okay. There. Okay. All right. All right, and so then what my mom would do, she would come back and do this. Wait a minute. I don't think she would take this long though. Okay. All right, now this is ready to go into a preheated 425-degree oven for about 5 minutes or until it's delicately browned, as the recipe says. All right, here we go. Okay, here it is. And you know, I almost left it in the oven too long. I set the timer for 5 minutes. And after about maybe 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes or so, it was ready. I looked in there and I could see it had browned. And actually, see that little bit right there? That was starting to get a little bit too brown. So if I had left it in the full 5 minutes, I don't even want to think about it. So, but anyway, here it is, and it is looking fantastic. All right. Well, I've had the pudding in the refrigerator overnight, and so now I'm going to garnish it with these vanilla wafers before I serve it. Okay, and we're just gonna, you just stick them down in here. Okay. All right, there it is. And so here's our pudding. banana pudding. All right, so let's dip some up into our serving dish. Uh-oh. All right. Here we are. It looks beautiful. And this is how it looks on the inside as we cut through it. Delicious. Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's just put this down so we can taste some of this. All right. All right, so here we are. And we're getting ready to enjoy our banana pudding. And as you can see, I have my taste tester here, because you know, if I taste it, well, of course, I'm going to say it's wonderful, which it usually is. So, but I've got my taste tester, so you don't want to hold him back, so let him just go ahead and taste it. All right, what do you have to say, taste tester?
This is good. You need more.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and have a little bit too.
That's so tasty.
It is very good. Very good. All right. Well, you heard the taste tester's remarks. And as you can see, he's thoroughly enjoying it. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and close out now. And I just want to thank you again.
What's that?
I just want to thank you again for joining me. And I pray that you saw or heard something that was beneficial to you. And as I always say, if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to Viney B's Homemaker Experience and share it with your family and friends. And remember to click the notification bell so that you can be alerted each time I upload a new video. All right, well, thank you again, and until next time, goodbye.